I have one question for you guys. You ready for postseason basketball here on episode 32? Welcome back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series as we jump back in with Coach Carter and his Fordham Rams. The quest for Coach Carter's first postseason win at the reins of the program is on the line today, and I bet these guys are feeling really good about their odds. Back in Season 2, we barely scraped our way into the A-10 bracket. Here in Season 3, we combined our conference win total from the first two seasons to finish with 8 on year 3, and we made it in with ease. The Coach Carter effect is in full effect, but the rebuild is far from complete. Coach Carter's teams back at UT Martin always showed up in postseason play, but it remains to be seen if his success will translate after the promotion. The 7-seeded Rams will be taking on an opponent we didn't face too long ago, the UMASS Minutemen. They earned the 10th seed and will be our first round matchup today. The Fordham Rams may enter the matchup as the favorites seeding wise, but that might as well be just for the aesthetic. The DCU Center plays host to the A-10 tournament, and that's a building that's located in Worcester, Massachusetts. So while Fordham makes the 3.5-hour bus ride north for the postseason tournament, UMass is pretty much playing in their backyard, and it's pretty much a home game for them here in round 1. This is a Minutemen team who has a very bright future in my eyes. I know the records may not reflect it, but this is the youngest team in the A-10, and yet they've beaten the regular season champs, the Charlotte 49ers, and they're fresh off of a very impressive win over a 20-win George Washington team. For Fordham, it's been no more than a week since we last met up with the Minutemen on our senior day, and it was a definite success. For a Fordham roster that's been and plenty of nail-biters all season long, this was one of the few comfortable wins we enjoyed. All 5 seniors were able to walk out of Rose Hill with a win for one last time, but it was a freshman who really set the tone. Bennett Pincala held the leading A-10 scorer to a single field goal. 6'11 senior Freddie Salazar had a tough night in the last meeting on our senior day, and limiting his production was the number one way to cripple their offense. It's a tall order to ask Bennett Pincala to replicate his awesome defensive performance on senior day, but we'll see if he can do it, because this UMass team is a squad that tries to do their best to keep themselves in it, but they just can't hold up on offense without their main guy. So out of the 4 first-round games, Fordham plays in the second slot, so they'll be taking the floor right after the LaSalle and St. Joe's game. And the winner of this game faced the 2 seed, the Temple Owls, and the heavy favorites, St. Joe's. They stifle LaSalle's offensive attack, while Dre Calloway scores 15 for the Hawks. So welcome to the DCU Center, everyone. The Rams open Season 3's conference tournament with what is practically a road game. The UMass campus is just under an hour away from the DCU Center with no traffic, so the challenge meets the Rams without hesitation. Many experts have said that these two teams could be the dark horse to make a run in the A-10 conference tournament. Fordham will definitely need it if they want an outside shot at playing in March. Here we go, going for win number 19 on Coach Carter's 3rd season here in the Bronx, New York, as Freddie Salazar gives his Minutemen the basketball to start things off today. And the Minutemen waste no time getting the ball into the low post as it's Freddie Salazar linking up with Keelan Michelle right out of the gates for a bucket to begin things off today. UMass with the first lead as we're going to watch the first possession for both teams today. UMass vying for this upset. They're 13-13 on the year, but they've scored pretty big wins over quality A-10 opponents. And looking for another one here as Bennett Pincala, the freshman, he will score the first bucket of the postseason tournament. Great assist there by Kai Hendry as well as we jump ahead a little bit. This Minutemen offense is a team that is 3-5 in their last 8 games, and this is a beautiful pass here by Jay-Sean Breland, the 6'7 sophomore, who had a huge day against us in the last meeting. He opened up the game with 13 points in the first half, but here he is making a nice feed to the conference's leading scorer. That's Freddie Salazar, someone who we may see a lot of today. And he's already stepping his game outside, which is something he didn't do in the last meeting a lot. Bennett Pincala owned him underneath, but maybe we see Salazar live on the perimeter a little bit more as Preston Murphy drives baseline and looks for the tie game. Preston Murphy now an 8-game streak of 17 plus points And in that streak, he's had 3 go for at least 20, including 25 on senior day, where he absolutely torched the Minutemen. And his final game in Rose Hill Gym, he gets the tie he's seeking. But Freddie Salazar instantly with the equalizer. Salazar backing away from the paint today a little bit. He wants no part of Bengala down low. He'll just beat him with finesse on the perimeter. I really hope this Fordham starting 5 didn't think that we were just going to come in here and roll the UMass Minutemen like we did on senior day. They're coming to play here early as now the point guard grabs an offensive miss. It's blocked, but right into the arms of Freddie Salazar, who again scores. Bengala with some rotten luck there, as great reaction to swat back Keytron Parker, but now Salazar scores his 8th points on the 3-point play, and the Minutemen take a 17-12 lead. This is kind of what senior day was like too. They had a great opening start, but eventually we found our bearings. Let's see if we can do the same thing today as we take it away this time. A double team in the post proves to be too much for the forward on UMass, and that opens up the court a little bit for Kai Hendry to find a 3-point opportunity on the secondary break. Kai Hendry with a quick 8 points today. 6 minutes to go here in the first half, 23-19 as Lonnie Evans runs the pick and pop with Salazar. He's not open though. Good job closing this one down as we take it under 6 minutes. But Lonnie Evans left unattended. Higgins sagged off just a little bit too much. And again, the Minutemen hit from outside. This is what they like to do. They can go inside and out with this young core. 5 freshmen, 4 sophomores, but a pretty talented young core who's starting to figure out how to play with each other as the season goes on. But Jayshawn Breland's been a little quiet today compared to his senior day outing, as Higgins puts on the cross in transition and he dunks it down ferociously with an offhand. Higgins was looking for a bucket. This game didn't start out all that ideally for number 3, but the senior out of the Bronx, one of the 2 hometown kids on file, he starts off his day finally with a huge bucket that gets the bench on their feet. Causing turnovers was a huge key in the win on senior day. This is a UMass club that averages 15.5 turnovers a night on the season, as Dustin Black and Corey Terrell join the starting 5. 5 seconds to shoot. Higgins looks around for Corey Terrell, and a powerful post move brings the Fordham Rams back within 1. Nice dish by Higgins, and Corey Terrell continues to play huge reserve minutes for this team. Preston Murphy takes away the inbounds pass to the post as Dustin Black does a great job finding his way on the break. But wait a minute. Dustin Black still shaken up after falling kind of awkwardly. There was a lot of contact there. And Dustin Black's actually going to hit the sidelines here as Evangelo Higgins comes in to shoot the free throws for him. He would only make 1 of 2 to tie things up. But we're going to have to check on Dustin Black at halftime as he will actually head to the locker room to perhaps cut his first half short. So the fate of Dustin Black is still remaining to be seen. And he's one of our better bench pieces. And he was the first recruit in this series history as Milos Filipovic comes in and immediately scores a bucket. The 6'1" freshman out of Montenegro. It'll be a tall order for Milos Filipovic to replicate the scoring punch and the overall energizing play we get out of Dustin Black off the bench. But we'll see if number 33 can do just that as we close it down in the interior. The minutes turn to seconds here with 50 ticks left to play, 32 apiece as Fabian Swanson checks back in along with Kaya Hendry. Preston Murphy getting a blow now as Bennett Pinkala takes on 2 Minutemen, 2 smaller, inferior defenders. And Pinkala's got 6 on the half to finally give Fordham the lead that they've been scratching and clawing away at all first half long. So we'll see if the hometown kids, the UMass Minutemen, can score 1 more bucket to get this back to a tie game. Art Moritz drives baseline and makes Bennett Pinkala touch the floor, grabbing some oohs and ahs from the many Minutemen supporters in this crowd. Knotting things back up at 34 apiece. Not exactly the play that'll go in Bennett Pinkala's memory book, but at the end of the day, it was a good first half for him. And Fordham's offense, 62% from the floor, forcing some turnovers as well, but we're just not crashing the glass like we thought we would in this game. We're defending pretty decently when we limit the Minutemen to 1 opportunity, but when they get 2, 3, 4 looks at it, that's when we've been getting into most of our trouble, and that's where they're getting a lot of their easy points. Pinkala and Swanson only have 3 combined rebounds in this game, which is pathetic to say the least. This is an underdog team beating us for these 50-50 balls, and they're playing in front of plenty of support. And they're balling like they got nothing to lose. Fordham is clearly more talented than this UMass team, but will they start playing like it? We're going to see in 15 minutes if Coach Carter and this team of 5 seniors will clinch their first taste of postseason success. Fordham on the ropes. We expected this to be a tough game here in the heart of Massachusetts. And to make things even tougher, Dustin Black, it's been announced that he will not return to the Fordham lineup tonight. A high ankle sprain will sideline him for this game and potentially a lot more in the future. So the first recruit ever in this series, Dustin Black, it's going to be tough goings without him in this lineup moving forward. He's been so key for us here in Season 3 that we actually started calling him Big Shot Black as a nickname. So we'll see who wants to step up off this thin Fordham bench as Higgins immediately puts on the cross and gets his way into the open court. Higgins for his second dunk. He hasn't scored much today, only 7 points, but when he has, it's been emphatic as Salazar puts the up and under move on top of Bennett Pinkala for points 8 and 9 on the ball game. Bennett Pinkala now ties Lonnie Evans as the top scorer for the Minutemen in the first half. Both have 9 points currently. 12 minutes to go in the ball game. Fabian Swanson rips one down on top of Freddie Salazar, and he stays with it. Gotta love the hustle. We got beat pretty bad there on the boards in the first half. 14-8 team rebounds as Minutemen won that battle. But there we go, Fabian Swanson showing off some heart as it's Freddie Salazar who has it poked from behind. It's Higgins with the steal. Hendry tries to run the break, and we find Swanson just camping out at the elbow. Nice find by Preston Murphy in the secondary break. 7 minutes to go in the game. Fordham up a bucket, but we've definitely been playing better than UMass here in the second half. But this is where it's going to really show what Fordham has as it's Preston Murphy for 3. This is where it matters the most. Milos Filipovic playing big minutes. KJ Bigsby even having to come in. 2 guys who haven't played a lot here in Season 3. But short-handed guys like Murphy and Bennett Pinkala and Evangelo Higgins, they're really going to have to step up, man, and show what they got. 6:38 left to go. KJ Bigsby on the wing, looking for the curl. It's Fabian Swanson who has it picked. Swanson's had a bit of a tough day today as Keytron Parker tops it off. One of 4 freshmen on this team who can ball. Parker, the point guard, with 2 huge points to cut it to 1. Higgins and Hendry come back in, aka the starting 5 for Fordham is back out on the floor, with the exception of Corey Terrell. He wants his crack at Freddie Salazar as he forces him to give it up, but then it's Keelan Michelle on the glass as the Minutemen take the lead with 3:50 left to go. Keelan Michelle with 6 points. Hendry, nobody stops the ball as he challenges Freddie Salazar at the rim. Hendry with 13 points. He's had 5 of those here in the second half. We only had 3 team threes in the first half. Both of them belong to Hendry. We're starting to get things going from behind the line a little bit better here. But Hendry's been solid all day long. Lonnie Evans off the mark. He was the game's top scorer in the first half. 3:22 left to go. Fordham with the rock and the lead. Let's see what they got under their sleeve. Higgins and Murphy. How are you going to defend this? A pick and pop between the 2 star-studded players. Why not, as Higgins has passed the ball really well today. He's your team leader in assists, something you don't see very often. 60-59, Fordham's being forced to play nearly a perfect game to stay afloat here. There's back door open. No, it's not. Hendry, flare out, opening up the lane for Preston Murphy. Inside out move. Kick out to Pinkala, who's trapped. It's stolen by Salazar. Hendry's trying to split the difference between the 2 Minutemen. He can't take the charge, although it looked pretty clean live. Lonnie Evans decides to go one-on-one against our freshman sensation, and Hendry tries to take the charge. Looked pretty good, but Lonnie Evans will take the lead. Decent defense there by Kaya, but just no benefit of the doubt from the officials there. 1:40 left to go. That could be the swing of the entire ball game. Murphy cut off. Higgins trying to run the same play, but this one is off the mark. Keelan Michelle with rebound number 9. 90 seconds left to play in the game. Minutemen on the move. Keytron Parker being pressured by Hendry. High post, Keelan Michelle, he faces up, tries to find Salazar as Pincala steals yet another entry pass. Hendry on the break, takes the lead with a chance for one more at the free throw line. The freshman sensation all year long has found a way in the clutch, and he's done it again. Hendry, this might be his best career outing in his first ever playoff game. 63-61. It wouldn't take long for Keytron Parker to strike back though. He's had a big second half, 63 apiece. 45 seconds left to go here in the game. Coach Carter's heart beating in his throat. Higgins nearly had it stolen, but he can't take advantage of the down man. 35 seconds to go, 13 to shoot. Murphy with the pick, opening up to the ball. It's Pincala, great pass, Higgins, no, yes! Yes, Bennett Pincala tipped it in. He stays resilient on the glass. This one takes the lead for Fordham. In a game where we've been feasting on over and over again on the offensive glass, it's Pincala who uses that to our advantage to take the lead. And check out Higgins. He's saying to Pincala, appreciate you having my back right there. Bennett Pincala with 10 points, but two of the biggest ones of his entire life there as a freshman takes the lead. Last chance for the Minutemen. Keytron Parker picks up his dribble. He's looking for some help. 10 seconds left as Hendry keeps pressuring him. 8 seconds. Breland for the tie. It's short. Picked up by Michelle. Kicked over to Evans. Baseline for the tie. It's knocked in. Lonnie Evans, the leading scorer for the Minutemen, ties it at 65 thanks to Keelan Michelle grabbing his 10th board. And of course it had to come on the offensive glass. Hendry for the win! Looked pretty close, but comes up short. 65-65, here we go. This is what it's all about. Can this short-handed Fordham Rams team hold on for Coach Carter's first ever postseason win? I know these 5 seniors are desperate to make it happen. Salazar for the second time today wins a tip, and it'll be the Minutemen with the first possession. Breland off the bounce. Great defense there by Higgins and company down low. Swanson, who's played a huge second half on the boards, collects his 5th of the second half of action. 65 apiece. Hendry with space. Yes! Hendry again. He's got 19 on the contest. His first playoff game has been a success, everyone. 68-65. Breland turns the corner, bounce pass, kick out. Evans rips it clean. Oh my goodness, the 6'3 sophomore from Queens, New York, Lonnie Evans with a career high of 16 tonight. Eventually, the Minutemen would jump back on top. 3 minutes to go here in Coach Carter's second ever playoff game. Despite being the higher seed, this has pretty much been a road game for the Fordham Rams. They lost Dustin Black. They're pretty much playing on the road, but they're trying to defeat the odds to get this thing done. Down by a point, it's Swanson in the post, who's rebounded really well in the second half, but he wants a crack at the scoring column this time. Swanson with 10 as he zooms in on a double pretty quickly here. 2:32 left to go. This one's almost stolen by Higgins, but he'll pressure Jayshawn Breland, who hasn't had quite the same game this time around against us. It's tipped away. Murphy pressuring inside. Hendry with the lob. It's Higgins who dunks it down. Hendry playing like a star, but you gotta admit, this is one of those passes that would get you benched sitting next to Coach Carter if you mess it up. But Higgins, he was running down the lane. He filled it to perfection, and Hendry put this one right on the money. This is the way to turn the tides. Up on their feet is the Fordham Rams. And Murphy's got a chance of extending this lead a little bit on the very next possession. He gets fouled and puts in 2 free throws. 73-71, a minute 40 left to go. These Minutemen still have a chance of tying the game, and that's what they get as they break the press. Keelan Michelle stepping outside for a huge bucket. A double-double for the freshman. 6'7" forward. This is a huge game for Keelan Michelle. Over to Bennett Pincala, who kicks it to Murphy. Rips it home. The three-point shooting has come alive here for the Fordham Rams, as it so often does in the clutch. Preston Murphy, 18 on the game. This one's almost tipped away, but Fabian Swanson's called for the foul. But I love the aggressiveness there on the break. This is where we need to assert ourselves and really get this thing done. So almost another turnover for UMass. They're starting to sweat a little bit. A stop and a score, and you gotta feel good about where Fordham's at. This one's going the other way. Fabian Swanson checks in and takes a huge charge right on the chin. Beats Jay-Sean Breland to the spot, and another turnover is forced. This one, thanks to Fabian Swanson's grittiness and grime. The senior wants to win this game, and he so does. These 5 seniors hold on 84-81 thanks to excellent three-point shooting, playmaking, and overall grit and grime down the stretch. Kai Hendry with 26, 4 threes and a career night as the freshman 4-star recruit, the first 4-star ever in the series, gets it done. And Coach Carter hangs up the first ever playoff win here in this series for him and these 5 seniors. Very heartwarming indeed. Didn't think they would be this hard to get it done, but who had any other expectations tonight? We had Hendry and Murphy combined for 40 points as Murphy extends his 8-game streak of 17 plus points. He makes it 9 straight with this performance tonight. Bennett Pinkala had the best game of his freshman year, 14 points, 4 steals. Even though Freddie Salazar did have 17 on him, he did a great job stealing all those entry passes. It could have been a lot more if Pinkala didn't have such active hands inside the paint. Keelan Michelle with 13 points and 11 rebounds to end off his freshman year with a double-double. But moving on will be the Fordham Rams to take on George Washington in the second round, a team that swept us in the regular season, but the Colonials were out for blood both times. They beat us twice. 2 very different flavors of defeat we took at the hands of the Colonials. One was a blowout loss, and one was a nail biter. So we'll see what's in store for us next episode as we battle the Colonials to try to make the semifinals. But we're gonna have to also wrap up the rest of the first round here in episode number 32. And as we take a look at the top half of the bracket, we see Xavier. They were the underdogs here in this game, but they take down the Richmond Spiders by 2 points. Percy Hamilton with 18 and 4 to lead the Musketeers, as Tyler Higbee, the underclassman center, also zoomed in on a double-double. Duquesne and Dayton. This one was a shocker. Duquesne rolls the Flyers, who actually lost 4 straight games to end the regular season, so the Flyers really slumped there to head into postseason play. They were actually threatening for a first round bye. They were 8-4 in the conference at one point, but they lost 4 straight to finish 8-8, scored the 8th seed, and then looked flat there in the tournament. So it'll be the Duquesne Dukes taking on the Charlotte 49ers, the top overall seed, the number 2 team in the country. And they will play the winner of Xavier and St. Louis at the top of the bracket. And then at the bottom, Temple and St. Joe's. That will be the bigger game that we follow, because if we can somehow knock off the Colonials, the 20-win George Washington team, who's been kind of the oddball this year, come out of nowhere and have a great season. If we can knock them off, we'll be facing the winner of that Temple Owl game in St. Joe's. So the quarterfinals will be taking place next episode. I am very excited for that for sure. Anything can happen, man. It was all about just getting to the postseason, and who knows what happened. But we're proving a lot of guys wrong right now. Fordham is really taking off right at the right time, and let's see if we can do the same against George Washington. It's gonna be tough though. They beat us twice in the regular season, but anything can happen. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun. This was an intense one, and if there's one thing that the A-10 is teaching us early on, is we take nothing for granted here in this conference. So we should have been expecting a tough one from the get-go, and that's what we got from UMass. So I'll see you guys later on. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is College Sports Survive signing out. Next time you see me, we'll be taking on George Washington, a team that swept us in the regular season. That'll be our quarterfinal matchup. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you enjoyed. The Fordham Rams will be back very soon for the quarterfinal game. I'll see you guys later. Peace, everybody.